Okay, so we are going to first and foremost put in our sugar, and for sugar we've got about 3/4 cup of sugar. And we have our 1 teaspoon of vanilla. Vanilla, it's so vanilla. Other recipes that I've seen use about 1/2 teaspoon, which is totally fine. But for me, I like to have a little bit more of some flavor, which you can never have too much flavor. So that is gonna be 1 teaspoon of vanilla. So now it's been about 10 minutes of this butter just hanging out and chilling. You can see that it is soft. It's not liquidy, but it is soft, and that is what we're going for. So you've got 1/2 cup of softened butter. See, look at that, look at that. Some softened butter if I've ever seen some. And here we go. Woo, way too much. So when it comes to mixing the first couple of ingredients together, it doesn't have to be anything super crazy. I like it to be a little chunky. Make sure that you don't mix it too long, but just make sure that all of the ingredients are mixed together. So light and fluffy. Okay, so we're gonna add an egg. So we're gonna crack this egg. Make sure that none of the shells get in the egg. Nothing fancy. Now we're gonna take a fork. Gonna mix this up a little bit, just so that that yolk is good and mixed up. Always, you can always beat an egg the best with just a fork, nothing too fancy. And we are gonna add that guy in there. So I'm gonna add and kind of do this at the same time. There we go. And so that's about good. Look at that right there. So we're gonna go, I'm gonna take this to the side. And then we're going to use another mixing bowl. Ah! Don't lick it. Don't lick it. No. Don't you lick it! I would never. I'm joking. Also, another tip, just make sure that before you start this whole party, just already start that oven, because there have been plenty of times that I have been already gotten everything, it's all mixed, it's all ready to get together, and then I didn't turn the oven on, and I have to wait for it to heat up, and I'm sitting here like, so just make sure that you first and foremost turn that oven on. If you're fancy and you just have one that heats fast, and then like those little music songs let you know that it's done, then that's fine. You can just wait. But if you're not, just do it first. Okay? We're gonna pour this in here. And another tip and trick, whenever you are putting your flour or sugar or whatever into a cup or a teaspoon or a tablespoon or whatever, just put it over the sink. Easy clean, you know, easy clean. We're here for a fun time, not a long time, and we don't want to spend most of that time cleaning. 1/4 teaspoon, not tablespoon, teaspoon of salt. If you do tablespoon, you're just gonna have some salty cookies, which we don't want. you've got your 2 teaspoons of baking powder and your 2 cups of flour. Make sure now that we're going to mix our first mixture and our second group of ingredients together to make sure that this dough is going to be super mixed well, and we're going to use our hands next. So there was one time when I really needed to make cookies, and the only flour that I had was almond flour. So I would say maybe look up maybe some other websites that might be able to help you out with that, because when I used almond flour, it did not turn out well whatsoever. My cookies consistency was wrong. All of it was wrong. I don't know what kind of science that was, but it did not work out for me. So I don't have any websites that I knew of. I just kind of looked at the cookies and I was like, these aren't going to work for me. Make sure that you do check that out. If you have any allergies, any nut allergies, any dairy allergies, anything, make sure that you do look that up before you just kind of assume and throw something in there, because it's not going to work out. Okay, look at that. So we're back to washing our hands. Another tip, before you put your hands into the bowl and we're gonna move and mix the dough together, take off your jewelry. You will thank me later. This ring has been caked multiple times in cookie dough, and it's just easier. Take it off. Oh, we got dough. So we've got some flour. Make sure that it is a good amount, because we really want to make sure that the dough is covered. That was probably too much, but we're gonna see. And it's okay. It's like when you were little and you just gotta play with sand. Woo! Look at that. Okay, yeah, I got eager. I got eager. Okay, once it is though super coated with some flour, we are going to go and flatten it out. Also make sure that you do put some flour on your rolling pin. See, so when it does this, that just means that you need a little bit more flour. I like to make it kind of flatten it out, then bring it back, because for me, this kind of just pops out those air bubbles. So we're back to it. I'm just gonna flip it on the other side, smush it out again. So now this dough is like super good to use. Maybe use a little bit more flour. Look at that, look how smooth and beautiful she is. Okay, so I'm gonna say that this is a good amount of thickness. We don't want it to be too thick because Again, the cookies do rise, but we don't want it to be too thin. So now we are going to take my baking sheets. Look at that. And it fits perfectly. And I also got this pan from Target. And we're just gonna start cutting the cookies. And I would say that when you kind of do your first run through with the dough and the cookie cutting, sometimes it might be a little squishy. As I said, I am not a professional, so I do it a couple times, maybe like twice. But after a while, when I add more flour to my dough, it becomes super easier to use, a little tougher, and then it is super easy just to pull off the baking mat and put it on my cooking pan. See, and you can see after my second time around, these cookies look so much more in shape and better. Ta-da! Okay, so you are going to now bake these cookies for about 9 to 11 minutes. It just depends on how crispy you like them. I like to bake mine for 10 minutes. Okay, y'all, that is how I make my cookies. Thank you so much for tuning in. My recipe I absolutely love, and I actually got it from the blog This Is How We Bing 'Em. I will put the link to that video below. It is a great blog. I highly suggest checking them out. I love this recipe also because as long as you put it in for only like 9 to 11 minutes, it won't burn. It'll make the cookies nice and brown, but also super soft on the inside, which is personally my favorite. So in the next video, I will also be showing you how to make my royal icing and how I decorate my cookies. So make sure that you guys tune in for those. And again, thank you for joining me for this one.